Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. If you are new to my channel, please subscribe to my channel, like this video and press the bell icon. In this video, you'll learn how to build a full CRUD application using Laravel 12 and Bootstrap 5. We'll cover everything from setting up the project to implementing create, read, update, and delete functionality. We will also learn how to implement pagination. And for the delete functionality, we'll enhance the user experience by using a Bootstrap modal to confirm deletions, all powered by JavaScript. Before proceeding, let's take a quick look at the demo. Here, you can see that there are a total of 10 student records displayed, with 5 records per page, showing the student's name, email, and phone number. Each record has buttons for view, edit, and delete. You can view the student's details, edit their information, or delete a record. Above the table, there's an Add Student button to add a new student. There are pagination links below the table to navigate between pages. Click on page 2 to navigate to the second page. You can see page equals 2 in the address bar, indicating you're on the second page. Now, click on page 1 to go back to the first page. You can now see that we're on the first page. Click on Add Student and you will navigate to the Add Student page. Click on the Save button without entering any data, and you will see errors indicating that name is required, email is required, and phone is required. Next, enter 2 characters in the name field, add random text in the phone field, enter an email and click on Save. You will see an error. The phone field must be 10 digits. Next, remove 1 character from the name field so that only 1 character remains. Then, enter an already existing phone number and click Save. You will see 2 errors. The name field must be at least 2 characters, and the phone number has already been taken. Now, enter an email that already exists, click the Save button, and you'll see the error. The email has already been taken. Now, enter a name, email, and phone number that do not exist in the database, then click on the Save button. The student will be saved, and you will be redirected to the index page with a success message. Student added successfully. Here is the success message. Student added successfully. And here is the student we have added. Click on View, and you will see the student's details, such as name, email, and phone number. Click on Back to List to return to the student's list. Now, click on Edit to update the student record. If you enter an already existing email and click on Update, you will see the error. The email has already been taken. Now, remove the name and phone values, then click on Update, and you will see the errors. The name field is required and the phone field is required. If you enter an already existing phone number and click on Update, you will see an error. The phone number has already been taken. Now, I am adding the same phone number that was previously added for this student, then adding a new email address, updating the name with a new last name, and clicking on Update. You can see that the student has been updated, and you can see the success message, student updated successfully. Now, let's try to delete this newly created student. Click on the Delete button, and you will see a confirmation modal asking if you want to delete this student. Click Cancel to abort the deletion. Click on the Delete button again, then click on Delete Student. You will see that the student has been deleted, and the success message student deleted successfully will be displayed. Let's see how to implement this CRUD functionality using Laravel 12 and Bootstrap 5. Go to the directory where you want to install Laravel 12 app. Right-click and select Open in Terminal. Type the command Laravel new your project name and press Enter. You will see a prompt asking which starter kit you would like to install. Since we won't be using any of these starter kits, type None and press Enter to proceed with the installation of Laravel 12. Now for testing framework, type 0 for pest and press Enter. It will take some time to download, depending on your internet connection, so please wait for the download to complete. Next, you will be asked if you'd like to run npm install and npm run build. Type no and press enter. The download is complete. Now, type cd your project name to navigate to the project directory. Open your project in Visual Studio Code. Now, let's install Bootstrap 5, Popper.js, and Sass. First, we will install Bootstrap and Popper.js, and then we will install Sass as a dev dependency. Click here and open a new terminal. In your terminal, type the command npm i--- save bootstrap at popper.js/core and press enter. Bootstrap 5 and Popper.js have been installed. Now let's install Sass. Type the command npm i--- save -dev sass and press enter. Sass has also been installed successfully as a dev dependency. Open package.json file. You can see that Popper.js Core version 2.11.8 and Bootstrap version 5.3.5 have been installed as dependencies, and Sass version 1.86.3 has been installed as a dev dependency. Next, create a folder named Sass inside the resources folder. Create a file named app.scss inside the Sass folder. Import Bootstrap's SCSS from bootstrap/scss/bootstrap. Open app.js file which is inside the JS folder. Now, let's import all of Bootstrap's JavaScript functionality by writing import star as Bootstrap from Bootstrap. Create a folder named Layouts inside the Views folder. Next, create app.blade.php file inside this Layouts folder. Type the exclamation mark and hit tab to generate the HTML5 boilerplate. Now, in the head section, we will use the @vite directive to load the app.scss and app.js files. Next, inside the body tag, add class equals bgdark for dark mode. Now, in the body tag, add a div element with id equals app. Inside the div element, add a main tag with the py4 class. Within the main tag, include the @yield directive to display the content. Now let's create a file called home.blade.php inside the views folder, just to test if the Bootstrap styles are loading properly. Add the @extends blade directive to specify which layout the child view should inherit, and pass layouts.app inside the parentheses. Now add the @section directive, including content inside parentheses. End the section with @endSection directive. Inside this @section directive, let's add a Bootstrap alert component. Now, let's add a route to display this home view file. Open web.php file located inside the routes folder. Duplicate this route. First, change the URL to home and replace the welcome view with the home view. Next, we need to create a database for our app. Open .env file. Copy the database name. Go to phpMyAdmin. Click on New. Paste the database name which you have copied and click on Create to create the database. The database has been created. Next, we need to migrate the database. Go back to Visual Studio Code. Open a terminal and type the command php artisan migrate and press Enter to migrate the database. The database has been migrated. Type CLS to clear the command prompt. Now, let's compile the assets and start the development server. In your terminal, type the command npm run dev and press enter. You can see that the development server for Vite has started. Next, let's start the local PHP server. Click here and select Command Prompt to open a new command prompt. Type the command php artisan serve and press enter. The local PHP server is now up and running. Go to your browser and navigate to localhost :8000, and you should see the Laravel 12 homepage. Now, if you navigate to the home route, you should see the Bootstrap alert displayed. This indicates that Bootstrap has been installed successfully. Go back to Visual Studio Code. Now, if you open the terminal where the Vite server is running, you'll see an error saying, "Global built-in functions are deprecated and will be removed." To fix this, we'll downgrade the SAS version. Type Ctrl+C to stop the server. Now press Y. Type the command npm I SAS at 1.77.6 save exact and press enter. The SAS version has been downgraded. Now, type the command npm run dev and press enter to restart the Vite server. You can see that the deprecation error is now gone, and if you go to your app, you should see the Bootstrap alert just like before. Next, let's create a student model along with a migration file to store the student details. Click here and select Command Prompt to open a new command prompt. Type the command php artisan, make :modal student -m and press enter. This command will create a student class inside apps/models folder and a migration files inside database/migrations folder. The student class and migration files have been created. Open student class located inside apps/models folder. Next, open database/migrations folder, and you will find the student's migration file. Here we will add columns to the students table. In the up method, first add a name column of type string. Then, add an email column of type string and make it unique. Next, add a phone column of type string, which should also be unique. Now we need to migrate the database. Type the command php artisan migrate to migrate the database. The database has been migrated. Go to phpMyAdmin and click on the database. You will see that the students table has been created. You can see that name, email, and phone columns have been added to the students table. Now, let's create a controller called students controller to handle CRUD operations for students. In your terminal, type the command php artisan make :controller students controller and press enter. This command will generate students controller class inside app/http/controllers folder. Open students controller class. In this controller, define the create method, which returns the students.create view where the form to add a new student will be displayed. Next, create a view named create.blade.php inside the students folder within the views directory. Open home.blade.php file and copy this code. Paste the copied code inside create blade view. Remove the alert component and add an h3 tag with the text create student. Next, we need to add a route to display the create view. Open web.php file located inside the routes folder. Here we will define all the routes for the students controller. Define a get route that maps the URL student/create to the create method in the students controller. You can see that the student's controller has been included with a use statement. Name this route students.create. This route will display the form to add a new student. Now go to your browser and navigate to the student/create route. You should see the text create student inside an H3 tag. Next, let's display the form to add a new student. Go back to Visual Studio Code. Open create.blade.php file. Here I've added a form inside a card with a dark background. The form contains 3 input fields: name, email, and phone, along with a save button. Go back to your browser and you will see the form. Now, let's define the store method to handle form submission and save the student's name, email, and phone to the students table. Open studentscontroller.php file. Define the store method, which accepts a request object. This allows us to access the submitted form data. Import the request class from illuminate_HTTP. Inside the store method, first we will validate the data. We use the validate method on the $request object to make sure the submitted data is valid. This checks that the name is a required string between 2 and 255 characters, the email is valid and unique, and the phone number is exactly 10 digits and also unique. Then, we use the DD helper function to debug and verify if the validation works as expected. If the validation is successful, OK will be displayed. Next, we need to add a route for this store method. Open web.php file. Duplicate this route. Change the request method to post. Update the URL from students/create to students. Replace the create method with store, and rename the route from students.create to students.store. Next, we need to add name attributes to the input fields so that their values can be submitted and accessed in the controller. Open create.blade.php file. Set name equals name for the name input, name equals email for the email input, and name equals phone for the phone input. These names must match the keys used in the validation and database fields. Now, set the form's action to route, students.store, and the method to post so the data gets sent to the correct route for processing. Next, add the @CSRF blade directive to include a CSRF token, which protects the form from cross-site request forgery attacks. Now, let's display validation messages. In the name inputs class attribute, use the @error directive to apply the isInvalid class, which shows a red border when there's a validation error. Copy this code and paste it inside the email inputs class attribute and replace name with email. Also, paste it inside the phone inputs class attribute and replace name with phone. After the name input, add the @error directive to display the validation error message for the name field. Inside this directive, we use Bootstrap's invalid feedback class to show the error message in red text. Copy this code and paste it after the email input, replacing name with email. Then, paste the same code after the phone input and replace name with phone. Go to your browser, click on the Save button without entering any data, and you'll see validation errors saying the name, email, and phone fields are required, along with red borders on the inputs. Next, enter a name, email, and random characters in the phone field, then click the Save button. You'll see an error. The phone field must be 10 digits. You can see that the old input values are not being retained. We will fix this later. Now, enter just one character in the name field, add an email, leave the phone field blank, and click the Save button. You'll see two errors. The name field must be at least 2 characters and the phone field is required. Now, let's see how to retain the old input values. Add value equals old email to the email input to retain the previous value after form submission. Copy this code. Here, replace name with email. Paste the code in the input field, then paste the same code into the phone input and replace email with phone. Enter just 1 character in the name field, add an email, and enter some random characters in the phone field, then click on the Save button. You'll see 2 errors. The name field must be at least 2 characters and the phone field must be 10 digits. You'll also notice that the old input values are being retained. Enter a 10-digit phone number and at least 5 characters in the name field, then click the Save button. You should see the OK message, which indicates that the validations are working correctly. Next, we'll save the submitted data into the database. Open student's controller.php file. Comment out this dd function. Now we use Laravel's eloquent create method on the student model. Import student class. By passing $request_all, it gets all the input data from the request and automatically inserts a new record into the students table using that data. Here we redirect the user to the previous page using the back helper function. Then, we display a flash message using the success key with the value student added successfully. Next, we need to add name, email, and phone to the $fiable array in the student model. Open student model and add these fields to the $fiable array. Now we'll display the success flash message in the create.blade.php file. Open create.blade.php file. We'll show the success message right before the card section. Here I've added a Bootstrap alert component with the dismissible feature, so users can close the alert. Now let's wrap the alert in the @session_success directive so it only shows when there's a success message. Remove the default text. Here, we display the message stored in the session using $value. Go to your browser, enter name, email, phone, and then click on the Save button. The data will be inserted into the users table and you will see the success message. Student added successfully. Click here and the alert will be closed. Go to phpMyAdmin, reload the page, and you'll see the inserted data in the users table. Now, let's display the student data inside a table. Go back to Visual Studio Code. Open student's controller.php file. Now, let's define the index method before the create method. Here, we use the eloquent model to fetch records from the students table, ordering them by the created_at column in descending order. We then store the results in the $students variable and apply the paginate method to display 5 students per page. We can also use this alternative syntax. This achieves the same result, where we retrieve records from the students table, ordered by the created_at column in descending order, and paginate the results to show 5 notes per page. Finally, we return the students.index view and pass the $students variable to it using the compact method. This will allow us to access the paginated student data inside the view. Next, we need to add a route to display the index view. Open web.php file. We will add the index route before the create route. Copy this route and paste it here. Update the URL from students/create to students, replace the create method with index, and rename the route from students.create to students.index. Next, let's create an index view to display the students list. Duplicate the create view file and rename it to index.blade.php. Open create view, remove this text, cut this at end section and place it at the end of the file. Open index view, cut this at end section and place it at the end of the file. Remove this text. Here, I've added a students list heading inside an h2 tag. Below that, there's a link styled with button classes to create a student, labeled add student. Next, I've included a table with columns for ID, name, email, phone, and actions in the feed section. In its body, I've added some dummy student data, along with view, edit, and delete links in the actions column. Go to your browser, navigate to the students route, and you should see the table populated with the dummy data. Next, let's fetch and display the students' data from the database. Here, we use the @forelse directive to loop through the $students collection. This is helpful because it also lets us handle the case where the collection is empty. Replace $collection with $students and $item with $student. Cut this code and paste it after the closing tr tag. In the @empty directive, we display a message in the table when the $students collection is empty. A single table row is shown with a call span of 5, and the message no student found is displayed in centered. Inside the loop, we display each student's ID, name, email, and phone in the table. Remove this code. Go to your browser, and now you'll see that the student data has been successfully fetched from the database. Click on Add Student button. Enter name, email, and phone, then click on the Save button. You can see the success message, student added successfully. Now, if you go to the students route, you'll see 2 students listed, with the most recently added one displayed first. Next, after adding a new student, we'll redirect to the index route instead of the create page, and show the success message there. Open students controller.php file. Here we use the redirect route method to redirect the user to the student's index route after a student is created. We also attach a success flash message using the with method, which will display student added successfully on the index page. Open create.blade.php file. Cut this code. Open index.blade.php file. Paste the code after the Add Student button. Click on Add Student button. Enter name, email, and phone, then click on the Save button. You'll be redirected to the index page with a success message student added successfully, and the new student has been stored in the database. Click on Add Student. Enter name, email, and phone, then click on the Save button. You can see the student has been added. Click on Add Student. Enter a name and email, and in the phone field, enter a phone number that already exists in the database. Then click on the Save button. You will see an error. The phone has already been taken. Now, enter a new phone number and click on the Save button and the student will be saved. Let's add one more record. Click on Add Student. Enter name, email, and phone, then click on the Save button. The student has been saved, but the pagination links are not showing. In Google, type Laravel and press Enter. Click on this link. Select version 12.x. Search for pagination. Now press Ctrl+F and search for Bootstrap. We need to call the paginator's use Bootstrap 5 method within the boot method of your app /providers /app service provider class. Copy this code. Open app service provider.php file located inside app providers folder. Paste the code in the boot method. Copy this import statement. Paste it here. Go to your browser and reload the page. You should see the pagination links. The pagination links are still not showing because we forgot to use the links method on the students collection in the index.blade.php file. Open index.blade.php file. Now call the links method on the students collection after the closing table tag. Go to your browser, and now you should see the pagination links below the table. Click on page 2, and you will go to the second page. You'll also see page equals 2 in the address bar. Click on 1 to go back to the first page. Now, let's customize the pagination links to display in a dark mode style. Here you can see that the easiest way to customize the pagination views is by exporting them to your resources/views/vendor directory using the vendor publish command. Click here to copy this command. Open your terminal. Paste the code which you copied and press enter. Open the vendor folder, and you'll find all the view files related to pagination inside it. Inside the resources/views/vendor/pagination folder, create a file named bootstrap-5-dark.blade.php. In this file, I have customized the pagination component to have a dark mode style using Bootstrap classes. It changes the background to dark, text to white, and highlights the active page. Open index.blade.php file. Inside the links method, pass vendor.pagination.bootstrap-5-dark to apply the custom dark mode pagination view. Go to your browser, and now you'll see that the pagination links are displaying in dark mode. Currently, the links are centered. Let's move them to the end, right side of the page. Add a div element with the classes deflex, justify content end, and mt4 and place the pagination links inside this div. Go to your browser, and now you will see the pagination links aligned to the end. Click on Add Student. Now, let's add a heading and a link to navigate back to the index page. Open create.blade.php file. Here, I've added a heading with the text add student inside an h2 tag and a link to go back to the index route. Go to your browser and you will see add student heading with a back button. Click on the back button to go to the index page. Click on add student. Now, let's display a page title on each page. Go back to Visual Studio Code. Open app.blade.php file. Remove the default title. In the title tag, add the @yield directive. Inside the parentheses, pass title as the first argument, followed by student's CRUD in single quotes, separated by a comma. Open index.blade.php file. Now, add the @section directive. Inside the parentheses, pass title as the first argument and students list as the second argument, both enclosed in single quotes and separated by a comma. Copy this code, open the create.blade.php file, paste it there, and replace students list with add student. Go back to your browser, and you should see the page title updated to add student. Click on back to navigate to the index page, and you should see the page title as students list. Now, let's set the dynamic page title using the @has_section directive. Open app.blade.php file. Duplicate this code and comment out the first one. Here, add the @has_section directive and pass title as the argument in single quotes. Wrap title in parentheses, then add a pipe. Remove the closing parenthesis at the end. Then add the @else directive to display a default title student's CRUD if the title section is not defined in the view, and close the condition using @endIf. Go to your browser and you should see the page title as students list pipe students CRUD. Click on add student, and here you will see page title as add student pipe students CRUD. Open create.blade.php file and comment out the title section. Go to your browser and now you will see the default title students CRUD, as we have commented out the title section in the view. Uncomment the title section, and now you will see page title as Add Student, pipe, Students CRUD. Click on the back button to go to the index page. Now, let's display the student's details when clicking on the View button. Go back to Visual Studio Code. Open student's controller.php file. Let's define a method called show and pass $id as a parameter to fetch the specific student's details. In this method, we use the find_or_fail method to retrieve the student with the specified $id. The result is stored in the $student variable. Then we use the dd function to dump and die the $student variable. This will display the details of the student and stop further script execution, which is useful for debugging purposes. Here, in the show method, pass $id as a parameter, as we forgot to add it when defining the method. Open web.php file. We will add the show route after the store route. Copy this route and paste it here. Change the method from post to get. Update the URL to students/student to fetch the student's ID. Replace the store method with show, and rename the route from student.store to students.show. Copy this route name. Open index.blade.php file. In the ref attribute, add the students.show route using the route helper function and pass $student ID to generate the correct URL for viewing the student's details. Go to your browser and reload the page. If you hover over the View button, you'll see the URL with the student ID on the bottom left side of the browser. Click on the View button. It will dump the student object and stop the script execution. Click here and you will see all the data. Click here to go back. Click here to see the details of the student with ID 5. Go back to Visual Studio Code. Open student's controller.php file. Now, instead of manually retrieving the student using the ID, we're using route model binding by type hinting the student model in the show method. This automatically fetches the student instance based on the ID passed in the URL. Comment out this line. Go to your browser. If you hover over the View button, you'll see the URL with the student ID on the bottom left side of the browser. Click on the View button. It will dump the student object and stop the script execution. Click here and you will see all the data. Click here to go back. Click here to see the details of the student with ID 5. Click here to go back. Now, let's create a view file to display the student's details. Comment out this dd function. Now return the students.show view and pass the $student variable using the compact function. Duplicate the index file and rename it to show.blade.php. Replace the title and heading with student details. Remove this code. Remove this link also. Here I added a card component to display the student's details like name, email, and phone in a styled format. There's also a back to list button to return to the index page. First, we display the student's name, then the email, and finally the phone number. Go to your browser. Reload the page. Click on the View button, and you'll see the student's details displayed in a card format. Click on Back to List to go back to the index page. Click here, and you will see the details of the student with ID 5 in card format. Click on Back to List to go back to the index page. Now, let's implement the functionality to edit a student's details. Open student's controller.php file. Define an edit method that accepts a student model instance, and return the students.edit view, passing the student data using the compact function. Now let's add a route to edit the student. Open web.php file. Copy this route and paste it here. Change the URL to /students/student/edit so it opens the edit view for the selected student. Replace the method from show to edit and rename the route to students.edit. Next, we need to create an edit view to edit the student's details. Duplicate create view file and rename it to edit.blade.php. Replace add student with edit student. Add a comma, and set the value to $student name to display the current name of the student in the input field. Copy this code and paste it inside the value attribute of the email and phone input fields. Then replace name with email and phone accordingly. Replace the button text from Save to Update. Replace the title from Add Student to Edit Student. Open index.blade.php file. Copy this route helper code. Paste it here. Replace the route name with students.edit. Go to your browser and hover over the Edit button. You'll see the Edit URL with the student ID displayed in the bottom left corner. Click on the Edit button, and you'll see the selected student's name, email, and phone number pre-filled in the edit form. Click on the Edit button for student with ID 5, and you'll see the form pre-filled with their name, email, and phone. Click on Back to go back to the index page. Now, let's see how to update the student. Open studentscontroller.php file. Define the update method, which accepts the request object and student model as parameters to handle the update functionality for the student. First, let's validate the data. Copy this validation rules. Paste the rules here. We define the validation rules for the email field using an array. The email field is required and must be a valid email. Then we use the rule Laravel helper class. Make sure to import it from illuminate_validation_rule. First, we ensure that the email must be unique in the students table. We also use the ignore method to tell Laravel to ignore the current student's ID while checking for uniqueness. Remove this code and add an array. Copy this validation rules and paste it here. Replace email with digits:10. Here also replace email with phone. Then, we use the DD helper function to debug and verify if the validation works as expected. If the validation is successful, OK will be displayed. Next, we need to add a route for the update method. Open web.php file. Duplicate this route. Remove edit from the URL. Now, replace edit method with update and students.edit with students.update. Replace get request with put. Open edit.blade.php file. Replace route name from students.store to students.update. Add a comma and pass student ID. Next, add the put method using the @methodBlade directive to spoof the HTTP method as put, since HTML forms only support get and post. This tells Laravel to treat the form request as a put request, which is typically used for updating data. Go back to your browser and click on the Edit button. Remove the name, email, and phone values, then click on the Update button. You'll see validation errors saying that name, email, and phone are required fields. Next, enter name, email, and in phone field enter random characters, then click on Update. You will see an error. The phone field must be 10 digits. Now, enter a phone number that already exists in the database and click on the Update button. You'll see a validation error saying the phone has already been taken. Enter an email that already exists in the database and click on the Update button. You'll see a validation error saying the email has already been taken. Enter a new email and phone number and then click on Update and you should see the OK message, which indicates that the validations are working fine. Go back to Visual Studio Code. Open studentscontroller.php file. Comment out this DD function. Here, call the update method on the $student model instance and pass $request all to update the student's record with the validated input data. Copy this code. Paste the copied code here. Replace added with updated. Go back to your browser and click on the Edit button. Update the name, email, and phone fields, then click on the Update button. The student will be updated, and you will be redirected to the index page with a success message: student updated successfully. You can see the message student updated successfully, and here is the updated student. Click here to update the details of the student with ID 5. Update the name, email, and phone fields, then click on the Update button. The student will be updated, and you will be redirected to the index page with a success message: student updated successfully. You can see the message student updated successfully. Below that, you'll see the updated student details. Now, let's implement the functionality to delete a student. Define the destroy method, which accepts a student model instance as a parameter. This method will handle deleting the specified student from the database. Inside this method, call the delete method on the $student model instance to remove the student record from the database. Copy this code and paste it here. Replace updated with deleted. Next, we need to add a route for the destroy method. Open web.php file. Duplicate this route and paste it here. Replace put request with delete, change the method from update to destroy, and update the route name from students update to students.destroy. Open index.blade.php file. Here, we need to add a form to handle the deletion of the student. Add a form tag with an action attribute where we'll specify the delete route. Copy this route helper code and paste it inside the action attribute of the form. Replace show with destroy. Add method equals post. Add class dinline. Next, add the @CSRF blade directive to include a CSRF token. Then add the delete method using the @method blade directive to spoof the HTTP method as delete, since HTML forms only support get and post. Add a button with type equals submit, set the class to btn outline danger, and set the button text to delete. Now, add an on-click attribute with return confirm, are you sure? To show a confirmation pop-up before deleting. This ensures the user confirms the action before the form is submitted. Go to your browser and click on the delete button. You'll see a confirmation pop-up. Click cancel to abort the deletion. Click the delete button again, and this time click OK. The student will be deleted and you'll be redirected to the index page with a message saying student deleted successfully. Now, instead of using the default browser confirmation pop-up, let's display a Bootstrap confirmation modal to delete the student. Go back to Visual Studio Code. Comment out the entire delete form including the form tag, so we can replace it with a Bootstrap confirmation modal. Add a button with type equals button, apply the btn outline danger, delete btn classes for styling, and include the databs toggle and databs target attributes to trigger the Bootstrap modal with the ID delete student modal. Also, pass the student's ID using the data ID attribute so it can be accessed inside the modal. Here I have added a Bootstrap modal with the ID delete student modal. This modal will appear when the delete button is clicked. I have added bgdark and textwhite classes to modal content for a dark-themed modal appearance. In modal header, add class border 0. Set modal title as delete student. Then, add a button of type button with the classes btn close and btn close white, along with the attributes databs dismiss equals modal and aria label equals close to allow users to close the modal. Add a warning message in the modal body to let the user know this action is irreversible. In the modal footer, add the class border 0. Inside it, add a button with type button, classes btn outline light, add data bs dismiss equals modal, and set the button text to cancel. Then add a form with id equals delete form and method equals post. Include the @csrf directive, use @method, delete. Finally, add a button of type submit with the classes btn outline danger, and set the button text to delete student. To delete a student, we'll use vanilla JavaScript. To use the custom script, we need to add the @yield directive inside the app.blade.php layout file. Open app.blade.php file. Here, add the @yield directive and pass scripts as its argument. Open index.blade.php file. After this, at end section, add the @section directive and pass scripts inside the parentheses. End the section with @end section directive. Inside this directive, add a script tag. Inside the script tag, first add document.addEventListener. Then inside the parentheses, pass DOM content loaded and a callback function. This ensures that the JavaScript code runs only after the entire HTML page has been fully loaded. Create a constant named delete buttons and use document.querySelectorAll.deleteBTN to select all elements with the class deleteBTN. This will allow us to attach event listeners to all delete button. Here in the delete button inside the table, add the class deleteBTN. Copy this form ID. Now define a constant named delete form and assign it the form element by using document.getElementById. Paste the form ID that you copied earlier inside the parentheses. This allows us to dynamically update the form's action attribute when a delete button is clicked. Now loop through each delete button using for each. For every button, we add a click event listener. Inside it, we access the data ID attribute of the clicked button using this .dataset.id and store it in the student ID variable. Then, we dynamically set the form's action attribute to /students/$student ID, so when the form is submitted, it sends the delete request to the correct student's endpoint. Here, we misspelled getElementById, so let's correct it. Go back to your browser, reload the page. Then click on the delete button and you will see Bootstrap modal. Click on cancel to abort the deletion. Now click on delete again, then click on delete student. The student will be deleted and you'll see a success message. Click on the delete button for student ID 4, then click on delete student. The student will be deleted, and you will see a success message. Now, instead of passing only the student ID using data ID, we will now pass the full delete route using data route. This helps generate dynamic, accurate, and maintainable URLs using Laravel's route helper. Go back to Visual Studio Code. Duplicate this code and comment out the first one. Remove this code. Then add a data route attribute and set its value using Laravel's route helper. Inside the double curly braces, pass the route name students.destroy and the student ID. This dynamically generates the correct URL for deleting the specific student. Duplicate this code and comment out the first one. Replace student ID with delete URL. Here, replace ID with route. Replace this code with delete URL. Go back to your browser and reload the page. Click on Delete button, then click Cancel to cancel the deletion. Now click on Delete again, then click on Delete Student. The student will be deleted, and you'll see a success message. In this video, we learned how to build a complete student CRUD system using Laravel 12 and Bootstrap 5. We covered setting up Bootstrap 5 in a Laravel 12 project, creating, reading, updating, and deleting student records, validating form input and showing error messages, using blade directives like @method, @csrf, and @yield, displaying success messages after actions, using route helpers like route to keep URLs dynamic and clean, adding a confirmation pop-up using Bootstrap modal and JavaScript to safely delete a student, dynamically updating the form action in the modal using data attributes and JavaScript. By the end, we also replaced the default confirmation pop-up with a modern, user-friendly Bootstrap modal, making the UI more professional. If you found this tutorial helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content. Feel free to drop any questions or comments below, and I'll be happy to help. I will see you in next tutorial. Till then, stay safe.